Yep. So again, I'd like to welcome you all to our advanced tech training for today, and we'll be covering how to use the iPad's built-in calendar app to create and edit events. And happy National Endangered Species Day. Again, in our daily emails, you can read a little bit more about that day and some examples of some of the endangered species out there in the world. So again, I hope you all get to check out our daily email today. I'm going to read our disclaimer before we get started. The WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information, any applications or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thank you so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see me, hear me, or see the screen, please let me know in the chat, and I would really appreciate that. And let's make sure our TVs and cell phones are silenced to give others, and most importantly, ourselves, the most immersive experience. And as always, I recommend that you have, either your notes app or a pen and paper next to you, however you take notes, to write some things down so you can review them for later. To keep our meetings organized and avoid talking over each other, I just ask that you use the raise hand feature. You can utilize this feature either during and or at the end of each session, where you have the opportunity to ask questions or comments, concerns, reactions, anything of that nature using this feature. You can tap more at the top right, and then you can tap raise hand, again, if your Zoom is not updated yet. So again, I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand, or if your Zoom has updated, you can hit reactions here at the bottom, and then you can tap on raise hand. Okay, so again, everyone in Zoom, please raise their hand. Would really appreciate that. Just so you know you're here, you're ready to learn. You had a great week. You're gonna have a great weekend because it's, oh my goodness, Monday is gonna be May 20th, you all. Can you all believe that? So again, please make sure that if you ever have a question, a comment, or a concern, a reaction, anything of that nature, you can raise your hand. So far, we have about 23 folks on. We just reached 12 hands. Thank you, Miss Gracie. Appreciate that. And that's really great. Thank you so much for participating, you all. You all can lower your hands by hitting lower at the bottom. Again, it says your hand is raised, just like on mine. Again, I'm sharing my screen, so you all can kind of see what I'm doing and follow that, on your iPad as well. Again, really great feature. It says your hand is raised, and then it says lower. So don't forget to lower your hand, once you've been like called on or addressed, or, things of that nature, so we can make sure that we hear from everyone that has their hands raised. We got a lot of participation this week in our sessions, especially with our guests. So I really appreciate that and making that experience so much fun and enjoyable for all. Thank you. In addition to raising your hand, you can also utilize the chat. So if you want to communicate non-verbally, the chat is a great way to share a greeting, ask a question, send a photo, send your congrats, anything you like to share in the chat, you can do so. You can do that by tapping, again, more at the top right. Again, if your Zoom is not updated, and then you can hit chat. It's the very first one, more than chat, and then the meeting chat window will come up, and at the bottom it will say tap here to chat. If your Zoom has updated, you can simply just hit chat here at the bottom, and again the meeting chat window will come up. So either way, again, I want everyone in Zoom to please send a chat. Again, it can be anything, something as simple as hey, hello. So I'm going to just write hi, and then because it is endangered Species Day, I am going to add some animals. I'm going to find some animal emoji. And it's a lot of fun just to be able to express yourself in many different types of ways. And that's a lot of fun. So emojis can make things fun. So you can also, and then once you enter in the chat, you can then send it using the blue button on the right-hand side. Also, if you want to send a photo from your Photos app, if you have any, you can hit this plus sign right here next to tap here to chat, and then hit Photos. And then you can choose any photo from your Photos app to share to the group. So this is the today's session for our advanced training that was found in our daily email. So again, I hope you all get able to take advantage our daily email. It's a bit shorter, more succinct, and it has a lot of great information in it. So I hope you all are able to check that out. So thank you. Yeah, I'm going to send another photo just because I can. It's a lot of fun. Let me see. I think I have, oh yeah, when we did our apps for Earth session last month, I remember taking a screenshot or a picture of this butterfly. So again, if everyone in the Zoom could please share a chat, it's a lot of fun and we really would appreciate that. Good morning. Thank you, Ms. Paulette. Good morning, everyone. Oh, I love your emojis, Miss Foster. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Miss Mary. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Please be kind. Do something to lift her on. And don't worry, we have. I know that's right, Mr. Thomas. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, happy Friday. Yes, let's have a great weekend, you all. It's this week went by really, really fast. But again, hope for all, especially our newcomers, I hope you all enjoyed these sessions this week. Yeah, happy Friday, good morning. Miss Rosemary, let me see what you will say. Focus on the good things. That's so cool. And that certainly looks lovely. Oh, I hope that's in honor of our salads advanced training. So
Yes, it is.
yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's a lot of fun. And then I love this little picture, focus on the good things. So I'm going to save it by holding the image and then I can hit save image. Look at that. You can save any image that is in the Zoom chat as well if you want to save it for yourself. Okay. Mr. Tolson, so usually for our sessions, we have our lecture and then we have a question at the end. You can also put in the chat and then I'll also be able to answer that as well. Okay, Mr. Tolson, if you send me a direct message, you can also do that as well. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then also in the chat, if you could share what were your favorite Zoom sessions this week and why, we would really, really appreciate that. I loved our advanced session on fruits and salads, where we learned about some apps to utilize with that. We had a great discussion on beverages and hydration. Yesterday, we had Tori come on and talk all about nutrition, and that was a ton of fun. And our modules this week were informative as always, and I really enjoyed the questions that you all asked. Made me learn a couple of things this week, so I appreciate that. So again, if you could share again your favorite Zoom sessions that you attended this week and why, we would really appreciate that. Okay, so today we will be covering the calendar app. Okay, and this app allows you to, of course, create events, appointments, and meetings on a calendar. You can view all of your calendar accounts and see your events in list, day, week, month, and year view. And you can also add additional information to an event, such as location, invitees, and alerts. So by a show of hands, please raise your hand if you've utilized the calendar app before, just so we can, see who's utilized it. And hopefully you still all, learn something new because, each app has, certain capabilities and it's, took me a while, even just to get the basics. So, because there is a ton of information and things that you can do. So I hope this session helps make things a little simpler. So again, if you've used the calendar app or utilized it on your iPad, please raise your hand in Zoom, okay? Mr. Tolson, that's a great question. So you can download images from Safari. You can save an image from your emails, you get an image, things of that nature. So we'll cover that in one of our sessions. So that's module 6 is how you learn how to download, or one way to download photos on your iPad. So that would be next Friday, okay? Next Friday, the Friday before Memorial Day, we'll be covering module 6, how to add photos to your Photos app and put them as a virtual background on your Zoom, okay? So, but yes, you can save an image by usually holding it with your finger if you're on Safari or something, and then by hitting save image. So I hope that helps out. Okay, so far we have, I see about 3 hands. So hopefully that by the end of this session, we have a lot more folks that want to utilize the calendar app in their daily life. And it's really useful to keep things in order, especially if you have like consistent appointments or meetings or things of that nature. So hope, again, we all are able to utilize this app. So you all can lower your hands, but I see those three that did, and I appreciate that. And again, I hope you learned something new. Okay, so again, this is what the calendar app looks like, or a general example of what it may look like when you're utilizing it. Okay, and so you see here, you have different buttons here at the top when you open the calendar app that we'll go over. You have, you can view things on day, week, month, year. Pretty simple to see that you can utilize those different options. You have a search bar. You can search for events that you've had, either in the future, the present, or the past. And you notice the calendar. So this is was taken, or this screenshot was taken on October 18th, 2022. And you see that they have different events for different times for that particular day. And you notice that when they tapped on the event, it expanded on the right-hand side for additional information. Okay, so again, with the calendar app, you'll be able to make your own events and organize your daily life and really see what you got going on so you can plan in advance and even plan on the day of if things arise. Okay, I love utilizing my calendar app. It makes me feel very organized and knowing what times I'm doing what at work, but also in my personal life as well. So again, I hope we all are able to take advantage of this app. To open the calendar app, you simply go to your home screen and open the calendar app, or you can tap on the widget that you should see on your first screen. That's how it came to you all on the iPad. So you can either tap on the widget or the app. The app has the date on it and it changes every day, which I think is really neat. So if I hit my home button and go to my home screen, I notice at the bottom it says Friday the 17th. That is the calendar app. So that changes again based on what day it is. Thank you. Yes, the Google Calendar app. That's great. I utilize that app too for work, and I use my this calendar app for some not personal but more personal than work things. So that's great. I'm glad you utilize that app. That hopefully you can see the benefits and the utilization of the calendar app on your iPad, but you can download that too on your iPad as well. And one thing to note, Mr. Toast, if you are in the chat, make sure it says send to, and then if you want to send it to everyone, make sure to hit everyone, because you're sending it directly to me. I think you meant to send that to everyone, so keep that in mind, okay? But again, at the calendar app, you can either just simply tap on it here at the bottom, or you can tap on the widget here towards the top left where it says Friday the 17th, and actually gives me some information, not just the icon, which is pretty convenient. But either way, you open the calendar app just like that. And as you can see, all on your iPads, you all should see our daily calendar as well. This is pre-put on your iPad, which I think is really convenient because this is just an additional way to see the different classes, right? For that we host. So our daily emails, I think, still are number one because they actually have the description for that session. Way just to see the general titles of our sessions and what's going on. So I think it's really convenient. I can look what happened this week. So on Monday we had our session, our module. On Tuesday we had our conversation about beverages and hydration. Wednesday we had our module. Yesterday we had our conversation with Tori, and you can see the events for today. So we have our Tanzania trip and our module on email that we'll be doing today. So please make sure you come on at 12 and 1:30. But I can also see events in the future. Again, I'm just swiping with my finger because I'm in day view, so I'm doing it by the day. So, we don't have any classes on the weekend, but on Monday, as you can see, look, you can kind of get a sneak peek of what's going on, right? Because it says TBA, so of course, that hasn't been updated yet because that's still being put together, but this updates as soon as we update it here at Wild Tech. But again, you can kind of see what's a sneak peek for next week. based on, if when we have the sessions concrete. So next Tuesday, it's our resources session. Next Wednesday is our module on the iPad keyboard control center. On Thursday, here's a sneak peek. We'll be having a conversation with Mary's Center next Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to that presentation. I know Mary's pretty big in DC, so I look forward to that conversation. And next Friday, as you can see, we have our advanced training, our travel lunch club, and module 6. So all about Zoom, that module I just talked about before. Again, it's a really neat way to be able to check out, just to see what's going on generally for that week, the previous week, or future weeks as well. Okay, but this is the calendar app. So we're going to kind of dissect this app together, okay? So going back to the slides, thank you. The first thing that you should know how to do, again, a pretty simple thing, but very important, is to add an event. So if you want to add that meeting or add that event, add that appointment, you can hit the add button on top of the screen. So yeah, that plus button right here, add button, plus button, appears right here. The fourth icon from the top left. Okay, so if I go to my calendar app, again, on your end, I should say Friday the 17th as well. So make sure you go into the app so you can follow along, okay? So if I hit the plus button, look at that, a new event. And, just to showcase, if you have your iPad vertical versus your iPad horizontally, you will see things just a little differently. So I just wanted to note that. Learning that doing our trainings this week, certainly the view can certainly change how you see things. So just whatever one is more convenient for you. But in this case, what I think the calendar, if I do it vertically, I can see a little bit more. If I do it horizontally, I mean, it's pretty much the same. So some apps are a little more distinctive when it comes to being vertical or horizontal with your iPad, but I'll stick it in this way. So again, I hit the plus button and let's add an event. So it could be anything. If you simply just want to plan your day out, maybe you want to go to the grocery store or something. So let me put in Giant or something. So if I put in Giant or something, I know that means like grocery stores or something. So I can put that in there. So essentially you're just following each instruction on the screen. And it's pretty self-explanatory, like title, location, starts, ends, like this is anything to do with everything to do with time. Do you want the event to repeat? Is it going to be a daily event, a monthly event, a weekly event, etc.? You can have multiple calendars. I have many different calendars on my iPad, so I can choose which one I want to add it to from here. You can invite others. You can adjust the notifications that you get for that event, and some other additional information. So we're going to deep dive into how to add an event and edit an event as well. So again, first up is the title. You can add the title of the event, right? So again, if I go back to my calendar app, I'm going to put in Giant, okay? And if I go back here, the next one is the location. So you can enter the location of the event. So if I want to go to Giant, I may want to go to the one on H Street, that's 3rd and H. And then so I can simply even just type in either the address or even the name of the location, and it will come up during those options. So I'll showcase that in a second. We have the date and time. You can adjust or edit the date and time of the event. So you can either make it an all-day event. You can choose when it starts, when it ends. You can have it repeat. Again, travel time. You can adjust the calendar, which calendar you want to add the event to. Invitees, you can add or invite people to the event, which I think is pretty neat as well. Okay, so if I go back to my calendar app, so Giant, let's say it's going to the one on H Street. So if I put location, let me put 300 H Street, Giant. Or I can simply just put in Giant, here, Giant Food, 300 H Street, and there you go. So either way, if you want to be real specific, You can type in the name, or if you just want to put the address, you can do that too. So there are different options that you can do with that. Let's say I want to go, let's say tomorrow, right? So the 18th, let me choose that tomorrow. And maybe I want to go at 12 p.m. and it'll only take me about an hour. So that's what happens by default. But let's say I wanted to go for 2 hours. I just adjust the time. And now it says 12 to 2 on the 18th, which is Saturday. Do I want to do travel time? I think that's pretty neat. You can add travel time for these events to your calendar. So that way, based on your location, it will send you. And if you have, if you have your iPad with you, you'll be able to see, hey, you need to leave at this time to get there at that time on time, which I think is also pretty neat as well. So I would turn that on, especially if you need to get there by a certain time. Um, I would turn that option on. I think that's really neat that it has that. Repeat. Well, I'm not just going to go to the grocery store once in my life, but I may go scattered. So this may not necessarily be a repeated event, but let's say I go every Saturday. If I go every Saturday, I simply hit every week, and this event happens every week. But you can be even more specific versus the options that are here. You can hit custom, and look, you can change frequency, and you can choose the day. So like every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days, every 5 days, or I think that's just really neat that you can make it that specific, right? So yeah, so it could be every day, essentially, every week, things of that nature. And you can choose when to end it. Do you want to end this event? Maybe let's say it was a 1 month long class. That happens every week. You would then end it on that last day, right? So if I want to do May 18th, maybe this is a month-long thing. So again, I just use the arrows to go to a certain month. So let's say it ends on the 22nd. Okay, so that's the end date. You can do that if you want. The calendar, you can again choose what calendar you want to add it to. So I'm going to choose, let's see, one of, again, any calendars that you have, you can choose to add it onto that particular calendar. So let me choose my personal calendar in my iCloud tab. You learn how to add calendars in towards the end of the session. Invitees, again, you can add folks to add to this event. You can send them an invitation. So it's going to be an email. So you put in their email address to do so. You can also put in there, if you have them as a contact, you can do that by hitting the plus sign. But again, I think that's a really great feature. You can add invitees or invite people to your event. Alerts. Again, you can get an alert. It's time to leave. You can get a second alert, maybe like a day before. So again, a notification the day before and a notification when it's time to leave. I think that's really neat. You can show yourself as either free or busy. This has to do with if you want your calendar, let's say you have a caregiver or a family member that you want to share your calendar with, maybe your significant other you want to share this calendar with or share it together, or share with others. You can show yourself as either free or busy for that particular event. So groceries, I want to say busy because I want to focus on doing groceries, but no, I can take a call. So show as free. So that's a really neat feature. You can add an attachment. So you can even add a photo or a picture or a file to this event. You can add a URL. Let's say you need to go to giant.com, right? There is a Giant app. I would recommend that versus going maybe to the website because I love utilizing apps on the iPad. But if you needed to go a particular website, you can put it in the URL section. That is the website URL, website link, address. You can use that as well. .com. And then last but not least, you can add any notes. So any particular notes that you want to put for this, you can. So if I was at Aldi's, make sure to bring 25 cents for cart, right? Things of that nature, right? You can put any notes. Don't forget to pick XYZ for friend, something like that. Note, or not motel, note there will be road closures or something, anything of that nature. If you really just want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and you crossed your T's and you dotted your I's and you have any notes that you want to put up for that event, you can again do so here in the notes section. So again, we adjusted the name, the location, the time, the day, the frequency, the calendar. You could be as specific as you want, or just simply put, if you just have one calendar on your iPad, you can just put a title. Sometimes I just put a title and maybe a time or so if I want to, but that's pretty much going to be the extent for stuff. But if it's like more consistent, then I would go through and kind of get that set up, take, a minute or two or a few minutes to then make sure I have the event as much as I want to. But you can always edit it later on. But once you're done, you can hit add. And there you go. I just added that event to my calendar. And if I go again, you can always adjust the view, but look, 25th. Really quick, if I go to month, you notice it says giant, 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 giant. And then the last day, the 22nd of June. So again, everything that we inputted worked out onto our calendar. So every week until the 22nd of June, I have my giant from 12 to 2. I think that's pretty neat. You can also edit individual events. Like let's say I go to this giant, right? And I hit edit. Maybe this day I want to do 11. Let's see if it allows me to do that. Done. And there you go. Save for this event only. So isn't that neat? You can adjust it because maybe things change, but you just don't want to like delete the event and just do that, right? So I can adjust it just for that simple event. So this is 11 to 1, but this one is 12 to 2. So I think that's pretty neat. So if you ever want to edit an event, you simply tap on it. So if I even go to day and tap on it, you notice it says edit here at the top right of the event. And then I can edit that event from there. So that is how you add an event and edit it before you add it and how you edit it afterwards as well. So again, alerts, you can set an alert to be reminded of an event beforehand. You can show yourself as free or busy. You can add a website link to the event, and you can add notes like details and agendas that others can view as well if you invite them, okay? You can also use Siri to create an event for you. So we learned about Siri this week in module 2. So fortunately, with utilizing Zoom right now, we cannot use Siri at the same time, but I strongly encourage you to utilize, especially if you just really quickly want to add an event. And if you have it Siri set up to be activated by your voice, it's really simple to do so. So I'll showcase it on my phone, and it's the exact same procedure on your iPad. So, hey Siri, create a calendar event for me for Sunday.
What do you want to call it?
Meet friends.
Meet friends is scheduled for Sunday.
And it has all day right there. So if I want to edit it further, I can of course tap on the actual app when it comes up on your screen, and then I can edit it if I want to. But hey, sometimes you just want to put something on the calendar, especially if you're busy, maybe if you're doing some things or chores in your home and you just want to add it quickly with your voice, an event, you can do so. So these are some of the things you can say regarding the calendar app. You can ask about information about a meeting, or you can ask Siri to create that event in your calendar app. So I hope you're all able to take advantage of that neat little feature. You can delete an event by simply tapping on the event that you want to delete, and then you can hit delete event at the bottom. So if I go to giant, if I go down here, look, I don't even have to go down. I can just simply hit delete event here. And look, just like before, because this is a repeating event, I can just simply delete this specific event, or I can delete all the future events as well. So if I go to the 25th, maybe I'm going out of town that day. Maybe I don't need to go to Giant that day. So I'm gonna hit delete event. Again, when you select the event, it appears there at the top right again. I'm just simply tapping on it for it to appear on the right-hand side. I'm gonna hit delete event. And there you go. If I go back to the 18th, there it's still there, but that, oops, that particular event is gone next week, okay? So that's really simple to delete an event. Sometimes things happen and you can do so that way you can clear your calendar for other things. Again, you can invite others to an event you scheduled by tapping the event and then by tapping edit near the top of the screen. And then by tapping invitees, you enter the email addresses or names of the folks if they are in your contacts, okay? And then you tap done, and that's how they are invited. You can see the status of their invite. So this is an example that I did with before, where I was able to add the invitees, and I can see the actual responses of them on this menu. You can also email all of these invitees by hitting the email button at the top right. So again, you can email all attendees of an event, for example, to share event details. So again, you tap an event that has attendees, and then you tap on this mail icon to then send them an email. So that's quite a neat feature. Now we are going into the top left-hand corner, okay? These 4 buttons each have a specific function, okay? So the second button from the left, that's how you reply or look at your event invitations. So in the new invitations, where it says new, you're able to respond to that invitation. You can either accept it, you can put maybe, or you can put decline and decline that invitation. And if you want to view your invitation replies, tap replied on the other side. So you have your new invitations and your replied invitations, okay? So if I go to my calendar app on my iPad and I tap the second icon from the top left, that is your calendar inbox, essentially, in a way, right? So this is your new invitations. So I don't have any right now. But then on the right-hand side, if you hit replied, you can view all of your all the invitations you've replied to in the past as well. Okay, so that's the second button from the top left. All right. If you want to suggest a different time, so if you received an invitation, but maybe that time doesn't work for you, you can propose or suggest a different event time. So if you want to do that, you tap the event and you notice it says propose new time, right? So if I hit propose new time, you'll be able to just follow the prompts on the screen. You tap the time, you enter a new one, and then you send it back to that individual. So again, it's once in a blue moon that I've utilized this specific feature because usually those times work out because we discuss it, but just know that it's there when it says propose new time. If you need to suggest a different time, you can do so. You can change how you view events in the calendar app as well. You can view it by a day, a week, a month, or a year, as we kind of went over a little bit, just by utilizing the bar at the top and the middle. And if you want to view your upcoming events as a list, you tap on the list button, which is the third button from the top left. So again, if I go to my calendar app, I can view my calendar in day mode. I can view it by week. Isn't that cool? View all of the sessions in a week. So this was last week's sessions, right? This was this week's sessions just by a week, and I can see that, and the calendar appointment that we just created, right? You can view things by month. So look at that. It's really cool. Your calendar also includes, holidays. So I can see that it was just Mother's Day this past Sunday, and it's Memorial Day, not next Monday, but the Monday after. So a week and some change. So keep in mind, we'll all be off on that day, and I hope you enjoy your holiday, okay? So of course, the senior iPad calendar will be updated because it says we have an advanced session on the 27th, but we're off. So of course, things will be updated as we go along with the year. But again, it's really cool to see how you can view things in a month or even a year. If you want to quickly go to let's say February, right? This was our February stuff. But you can also just go up or down just by swiping. I can look at 2025 stuff. I can go to 2023 or 22 or you know, I think that's really neat that you can go back so many years and go forward so many years and be able to look at events in that way. Okay. And again, at the top left corner of your screen, the third icon, it looks like a list. That's how you can view all of your events in list form. So there are different ways to do not the same thing, but it's just to be able to see what's going on in any manner that you like. So if I go to May, so in a list, that's our advanced session today, our lunch club, and our module. That's the event that we created. That's next week's events. I can go to the past week's events. So again, pretty simple feature to utilize. So again, you can view this way, week, month, year, day, or by list. Very, very convenient. Okay. Moving along, you can again search for events. You can search for events by anything. If you can search by title, you can search by the invitees, you can search by location, you can even search by the notes and look for events. So you use the search bar here at the top right. And then you can search again by name, title, etc. So if I want to look at when the next session is on the control center, I can type in control center. And look at that, May 22nd. So next Wednesday, June 5th. So as you can see, we have each session module every 2 weeks. Okay, so pretty easy way to search for different things. Notes. I just wrote 25 cents, right? And look at that. Even when I type in that note, that event comes up on the right-hand side. So you can search for events by titles, by invitees, by notes, anything, right? So I think that's a really great feature to utilize as well for past sessions. For our newcomers, you can, if you find a topic or want to know more about a topic, maybe see if we covered it before, right? So if you want to learn more maybe about the Reminders app, something, you can see if we've done it either in the past or in the future. Of course, this is not 100%, but it's just a great way to be able to search for, again, different events based on any really criteria that you would like to use, okay? Yeah, you can customize your calendar. So if you want to adjust certain things, like picking which day of the week the calendar starts off with, you can choose your default calendar. You can display week numbers and more just by going to settings and finding the calendar app. So certain things that you can adjust, you can do so in settings. So if I go to my settings app on my iPad, and then I find the calendar app here on the left-hand side. So again, I'm just scrolling and finding the app. It's right here underneath contacts. Look at that, calendar. I can look at my calendar accounts and adjust any of these settings that I see so. So I like having week numbers. If I notice, if I go back to the calendar app, maybe I go to the month. Let's see. Yep, this is week 20 of 2024. It says it here on the very left-hand side. So this week was the 20th week of 2024. Next week is the 21st week of 2024. So I think that can be, that has its applications, for many different things. You can, duration for new events. So you can have it by default, it's by an hour, but maybe you just want 30 minutes for new events. But I like the hour because you can always adjust it later on. My default calendar is my Wallet calendar. I'll keep that, etc. But these are some other options that you can utilize as well. Okay. Moving on, you can set up multiple calendars on your iPad. You can keep track of different kinds of events, and these additional calendars are easy to set up and a great way to stay organized. Again, we've already went over the add event button, the list button, and the invitations button here at the top left. But the last one, the very first one, is the calendars icon, okay? If you want to add a new calendar, again, there are many different kinds of calendars. You can create a bills calendar. Um, yep, a bills calendar, a school calendar, even a work calendar, personal calendar. You can, if you want to divvy it up like that, you certainly can. And, it's whatever you like. You can just have one calendar for everything. You can have two, you can have three. The world is your oyster. So it's up to you on what you would like to do. But if you wanted to create a new calendar, you simply hit the calendars icon at the top left. And then you'll notice it says add calendar here at the bottom left. So I hit add calendar. And then I'm going to hit add calendar. And now I'm able to add a brand new calendar to my calendar app. So again, you can have many different options to do so. Again, you enter that name for the calendar, you choose the color for it, and then you tap done. So again, there are many different kinds of calendars that you can create. So let's see. Maybe you want, I've done this in the past before, but I've done a bills calendar. I think that could be very useful. Maybe you can call it personal, you can call it anything you'd like. So I'll call it bills 3. I can change the color. So maybe I want this to be maybe a yellow color. And excuse me. And once I do that, I simply hit done. And look at that. If I look at my calendar, so these all are my calendars right here, I can see bills 3. That is my calendar that I now have created. And let's fill it out with just some examples. So let's maybe go to June. Okay. Let's do just some typical bills that that many folks would utilize. So maybe on the 1st, right? Maybe if I go to the 1st of the month, right here, maybe I pay rent on that day. So maybe I hit rent. Okay. And then let's see. It's an all day, not all day, but maybe I would put that as an all day event, because it's pretty important. Repeat. So maybe every month, maybe on the 1st, we'll see what happens if it's specifically on the 1st of the month, and repeat. Let's just go with the year for now. What calendar do I want to put it on? I want to put it on my bills calendar, I don't need to add any invitees. Maybe I want to add an alert. Let's add an alert a day before, maybe. And then the second alert, maybe a week before, something like that. URL, maybe I need to go to that website, to pay the bill, or the app or something. But if you need to put something there, me personally, I don't necessarily need to put URL, but for notes, maybe I need to do something specific. Add $25 to something like that. But even when I do that, I have to think this is a repeated event. Maybe I don't need to do that for all of my events. So I'll keep it blank and add that note to a particular rent that I need to. So maybe that'll be for July or something of that nature. But hey, wasn't that easy just to put rent, the time, the calendar, and maybe some alerts as well. So once you're done, you hit add, and there you go. It's an all-day event. And if I go to the month view, it does on the 1st of every month. Now it has rent. Isn't that pretty neat? Let's say other bills. Maybe you pay Petco, right? Let's say my Petco, many bills nowadays, it lets you choose what day you can pay it on. So maybe you pay that on the 15th. So let me go to day view. Let me go to June 15th. It doesn't matter. You can go to the actual day and add it, or you can simply hit add and then adjust the day right there. But yeah, let's say Petco, right? Yeah, Saturday, June 15th, right? No location, same thing. This is an all day kind of situation. Repeat, every month and repeat a year. Let's go with the year. Again, let me add it to my bills calendar and let me add 2 alerts, the day before and the week before. Okay, and then I hit add. And same kind of situation. It's differently colored, from the other calendar. Pepco there in the 15th as well. So you kind of get the gist of that as well. And just a note here on the left-hand side for the calendars, if you want to take off the calendar to view, like let's say I get rid of the personal calendar. You see now it gets rid of all that of those items, right? Personal, same thing for bills. If I don't have the bills, then they won't show. So you can adjust it as much as you would like in that section, okay? So that is how you set up multiple calendars. You choose a color for it, you tap done, and then you can adjust the events and add events to that particular calendar. So again, I hope you all appreciate how you can, literally schedule your month out and just have everything in one calendar, right? Your rent, your Pepco, your phone bill, your internet bill, it's nice to see. So you can again plan things in advance, and what you got to do for that particular day as well. So it's really, really convenient to stay on track because life can be pretty hectic. You can't remember everything. And I have to tell that to myself a lot. I cannot remember everything. Let me use the tools at my disposal to, give myself a little break in that regard, right? So I recommend that you do create either one calendar with all of your stuff in it or different calendars with for each different things, maybe bills calendar, personal calendar, a work calendar, things of that nature, medical calendar, but you can also just have one calendar and add them all to that same. So it's up to you. You can share your iCloud calendar with others. When you share it, others can see it and add or edit events for that calendar. You can also share a read-only version that anyone can view that cannot change. So again, if you have a significant other, caregiver, family member that you want to share your calendar with, you can do so by following these instructions, by tapping on of course, the calendar section, and then you tap on the eye next to the calendar that you want to edit or share. You add that person, again, by typing their email address. Again, they must have the calendar app as well, okay? So Apple device, right? And then they can enter, again, you enter their email address, or you can add them from their contacts if you have them, and be able to share that with them. So if I go to my calendar app, and let's say I want to share this Bill's calendar, right? I hit the I, and then I simply hit add person, and then I, again, type in the email address or name if they're in my contacts. Again, if I know they have the calendar app as well, they can view and edit this calendar. If I don't want to do that, again, I just want to share a read-only calendar, toggle on public calendar. So you turn on that option, and then you tap share link to send the link to your calendar, again, through the different methods that you see. So if I go here, back to my calendar app, I can either share it or I can make this a public calendar. So again, only a read-only version, so no one can make edits. Okay, so I hit done. And then if I go back to bills, look at that. I can hit share link. When I hit share link, again, I can send this calendar, again, a read-only version to others by mail, by iMessage. I can copy the link and paste it if I need to. Again, put in notes, other options that you can share with others as well. Okay, so if you don't want it to be a public calendar, you turn that off. If you add them, you'll be able to add events and things to your calendar. If you make it a public calendar, you can share the link and they will not be able to edit the events, okay? All right, so that is in how to share your calendar with others. And last but not least for today, I do see we have a song request. I'll be able to get that for you, okay? So this is a video just explaining an overview on the calendar app. And this video, if you see any slightly different things, of course, um, apps get updated all the time, but essentially this also will provide you some tips and tricks on utilizing the calendar app in your daily life. So I hope you enjoy.
I used to have calendars that hung on the wall, or little magnet calendars that were mailed to me by my insurance company. I usually stuck those on the refrigerator. Those sort of things fell out of favor when those Dayminder books came along. I never had one, but I guess they were okay. I had friends who had their whole lives wrapped up in those thick things. Well, thank God the world's moved on. Now I use Apple Calendar on my iPad to keep things organized, on track, and up to date, and you can too. Apple's iPad Calendar app is easy to use, it's powerful, and just a great way to keep track of appointments and birthdays and more. And it's already on your iPad. If you're a senior or beginner wanting to learn a few basic things about using Apple Calendar, then stick around. This video is for you. Hi, and welcome to the channel. My name is Rich, and I make videos for beginners and seniors who want to learn how to use their iPhone and iPad without all the frustration. I try to keep everything simple. I leave those super deep dive videos to others. Here, I just try to show you how you can get up and running. Today, I'm going to give you 5 tips that'll help you get started using Apple Calendar. And by the way, once you get the hang of using the Calendar app, you'll wonder how you live without it. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you how to share your calendar with someone else. My wife and I share a calendar. It helps us stay in sync. So, here are today's 5 tips. I'm going to show you how to make sure your calendar is backed up to iCloud, which is super important.
Yep, we're just going to go on to the actual calendar app because that's done by default.
All right, finally, let's dive into the calendar app. I want to show you how to navigate around the app. So when you open Calendar, it'll typically look like this. And you have some icons up here at the top. The first one is a little calendar icon on your calendar. So you can tap that and you can see what calendars you have available here. And if you don't want to see a certain calendar, you could just uncheck it. So maybe US holidays, you don't want those, you can uncheck that. And it's just a list of your calendars. And when you tap it again, it goes away, so you have your whole calendar on your screen. The next one looks like a little inbox. If you tap on the inbox, sometimes people will send you an invitation. So they're inviting you to a party and they send you an invitation via email, and you accept that invitation will show up in your inbox, and if you accept it here, then it goes onto your calendar. So that's what the inbox is for. And if you tap on the next one, it just shows a bunch of lines with a little dot. You actually get a list of all of your appointments over here, and when you tap on them, you can go to any one of them and it'll switch the day, just like that. You can go to Earth Day, you can go to Cinco de Mayo. And if you want to go back to today, all you have to do is tap on the Today view right over here. Just tap on the word Today, and it takes you all the way back to where you were at the very beginning. So that is how you navigate using these little icons over here. If you don't want to see this list, you just tap on it again and it goes away. And then of course you have different views for your calendar. You've got Day View, which shows you whatever you've got going on for the day. You've got a week view, which shows you everything here. You've got a month view that you can look at, and then you actually have a year view that you can look at. And so you can see where your appointments are, just like that. So you've got day, week, month, and year. Really handy. And it's not very complicated, but that's about all there is to navigating around on the calendar app. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to add an event or an appointment to your calendar. So it's pretty simple. You open up the calendar app like it is here, and all you do is you press the plus right here. So I'm just going to say visit mom, and if you'll notice it says today, and maybe I want it to be an all-day event. I'm just going to visit mom for the whole day. You can just click on that and it turns it into an all-day event for today's date. Maybe you change your mind and it's not an all-day event, so you just tap it off, and you're going to go between maybe in the afternoon, say 2 o'clock, and you're going to stay till maybe 5 o'clock. and you do that, and then you just click add. And now you've added an appointment to your calendar, and here we're looking at it in day view, and you get the details of the appointment over here by tapping on it, and you can see visit mom, and then of course it shows up in the week view over here as well. And that's a really simple way to just add an appointment to your calendar. Now, maybe you want to delete that appointment. Maybe you made an appointment, plans change, you know how life is, and you just need to delete it. So all you have to do is tap on it, and you'll see at the bottom where it says delete event. You can just tap delete event, and it's gone. And it's as simple as that, and that's how you delete an event. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to create calendars.
Yep, so in the interest of time, I just want to make sure that we're able to answer any questions that folks may have. But again, that is how you open the calendar app, how you navigate it, and that's how you simply add an event to your calendar. We talked about some of the other things in the video beforehand, but I think that was just a nice overview. And it's nice to see, actually how he moves his hand in order to navigate the app. So I hope that was helpful for you all. So again, today we learned about a couple of features of utilizing the calendar app, how to add events, how to look at it as a view, as a list, how to reply to invitations, how to add a calendar, and how to organize your daily life. So before, again, we got a request. I'll be able to upload that today, but we must go after that as well. But what if you would like to, again, please raise your hand if you want to share your thoughts on the session. But also, please raise your hand if you would like to answer one of these questions. What features in the calendar app are you interested in using? So if you learned something today about the calendar app, please share. We would really appreciate that. And again, how can the calendar app improve your daily life, or how do you think it can by utilizing it? Again, there are many different suggestions throughout the session today, but what you can do with it. So I hope you utilize one or more of those. Okay, first up is Miss Wilda. How are you doing today?
Wow, first, hello everyone, and God bless. The calendar app saves my entire life. I'm at an age where I can't remember nothing. So I have to write everything down, everything. So I love the fact that I can go right to it and add all of my doctor's appointments. And what the feature I like the best is notes. And I can write the doctor's name down there, the floor of the visit, the telephone number. So even though I have and I create that one calendar that says doctor appointments. So when you're old like me, going through right now, I'm going through. So I've got the MRI, CT, all of that. So the calendar app is an excellent app for everyday life for me. It keeps me on track. Without it, I mean, I'm telling you, because my memory is not good. It's just not. So I recommend it for anyone. And thank you, and God bless everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Miss Wilda. I appreciate that. I love the notes that she did for the doctor's name, the phone number, the floor. I mean, you can't put all of that in the title. So it's really great that you do that. I'm so glad that you created a new calendar, just for that, because yes, it can be so overwhelming with the different events and things of that nature. And no, even, no matter how old you are, you cannot be expected, or you cannot expect yourself to remember every single thing that you got going on. So put the important stuff at least on, your calendar app, and you're able to then just see it visually, edit it in any time, and just kind of see what you got to do for that day and the next day, the previous day, anything of that nature. So thank you so much for that, Ms. Wilder. You have a great weekend. Next up is Mr. Tolson. How are you doing today? You got to hit unmute. There you go. How are you doing?
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing okay. And I like what Miss Wilder said about being able to separate the doctor's appointments from whatever else you're doing. That's the thing that I like most about it. I can make a calendar for me. I can make a calendar for my children, so I keep up with their doctor's appointments and whatever. And I can just you know, when I get up in the morning, I just got to remember to write things in my calendar when they come, you know, in because I got a habit
Yeah.
of um you know, I'm doing one thing, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll do this later, and I got to get out of
Mm-hmm.
that habit. I got to stop and write things down when they come up. That way, when I get up in the morning, I can look at my calendar and see what I have to do today, and my mind and body is ready to, you know, go into
Yes.
action and get those things done.
Well, I really
Thank you.
appreciate that, Mr. Tosin. And yes, that with the kid, you know, I would definitely create another calendar if it's like for another person. So like you mentioning your kids and like their events, that is a great use for that. So you can still have your own calendar, but you're still able to see both at the same time, or you could just see one at a time, etc. And I have, you know, that's something that where I think we're all learning, Mr. Tosin, because again, we all got, you know, different things going on, and sometimes we're, you know, in the moment, and you know, we don't think to, but you know, we just, if you write it down, you don't have to think about it later. You can just look at it and kind of, you know, get that out of your head, because we can have too much in our head. That's not good for us. So I really appreciate that, Mr. Tolson. And make sure you check out our 12 and 1:30 today. Thanks so much. And don't forget to lower your hand, Mr. Tolson. You can hit lower at the bottom. Thank you. Next up is Anne, and then Miss Doris, and then we'll end with our song today. Hi, Anne. How are you?
Well, I'm doing better.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using the calendar more for my medical stuff, and I had a
Mm-hmm.
birthday calendar, and I had kind of forgot about it. It's, you know, it's been kind of a lot of crazy stuff going on, and but I'm gonna start using it more. But I've been using the calendar for my doctor's appointments and putting the doctor, the number, and when I have to cancel if I have to, or if they made a note on they might have to cancel. So it's really, but I'm gonna start using it for more things and try to get my life kind of in order.
Okay, no, that's sometimes we need to reset, and so you know that's, you know, I certainly feel that too. I, you know, I have to use it more in myself, in my personal life too, in some ways. I think it would help out, you know, with just again not having to remember everything and just kind of focus on what you want to do, things of that nature. So I understand how you feel, and you're not the only one that feels like that. So I just encourage you to use it more, okay?
I will.
All right,
Thank
Anne. Thanks
you.
so much. No problem.
hmm
You have a great rest of your day.
You too. A good weekend and be blessed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. The one thing you just said, birthdays, I think that's really neat. So did you know, you all, on the left-hand side, if you go to other, there are there's a birthdays calendar. So you don't need to create a separate birthdays calendar. All you have to do is go to their contacts and go to your contacts app on your iPad. We cover that in module 4, which is this coming Monday. But if you go to your contacts app and you add a contact, if you look at the information that you can add to them, you can add their birthday, right? So you don't have to create a separate birthdays calendar. You can just simply add their birthday to their contact and they will appear in your calendar app. One example that I have is one of my friends, Maggie. You notice it says Maggie right here for the birthday. So if I go to that day, yeah, birthday, and because their birthday is in my contact, and I see it here on my calendar app. So I just wanted to showcase that too. If you add a contact and you add their birthday, it will automatically appear in your calendar app for that contact, which I think is also pretty neat. Okay. Ms. Doris, you had a question or a comment. Do you want to answer one of these questions? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing, Alex?
Good, good.
I think I could use this calendar for the doctor appointments as well as I was thinking the birthdays and daily things that you had to do because I write stuff down on paper and then I might not find that paper.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think
Miss
this
Doris.
is
I don't do paper anymore. I don't write. I don't. do everything virtually. And that's, you know, that way I don't have that chance because hey, the only way I'm losing that calendar app if I lose my iPad. So it's so much,
Yeah.
that's just the way I think. And it's not a little more fun, but I love using, the different apps and such. So it's fun to do so. And it's all in one place. Again, you like you say, you might lose that paper or you might forget where it is, or if you need to adjust it, you may need like erase. So it's so much, easier just to be able to edit things and kind of organize everything because it's not just one calendar, it's many in one, but you can choose just to use one or as many. So I think the flexibility of it, I think, is really easy to utilize. So
Yeah, and
yes,
the
uh-huh.
bills thing is good too, 'cause especially if you got bills that's due on different days, it'd
Of
be good to
course.
put them in there too. That way
Most
you
people
know.
do.
So I
Most
like
people
this.
have bills on different days.
Yeah, I like that. So thanks for introducing me to this one.
Oh, no problem, Ms. Doris. I hope you get to utilize. I utilize it every day. And again, this is all how you all see our daily classes. This calendar is put on your iPad, so you can also see at a glance what's going on for the day as well. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the weekend.
Oh, enjoy your weekend as well, Ms. Doris. Thank you so much. Thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments? Any other uses? I mean, hey, just these ideas I love. If I hope the others on the call are also just listening and being able to utilize these ideas. It's so great. I never thought of the notes and like doctors and like putting the name and like phone number and floor or whatever. I think that's a really great feature to use and to be able to invite others, especially colleagues or your people that you work with, volunteer group, whatever. It's a great way to be able to invite and just create and see your events on your iPad. Next up is Dolores.
Good morning,
How are you
everyone.
doing?
Everyone doing good. One question: Do the when you set up your calendar, does it give you alerts for certain events, or do you have to continuously look at your calendar every day?
So Dolores, we covered that a little bit in the beginning of the session today. If you go to the calendar app and when you create an event, you will see when you go down, it says alert. So you can create an alert or basically a notification, and you can either just do one, like all these different options you can choose from, like let's say a day before, and then you can do a second alert as well. So maybe I want to do it a week before, so I can get two notifications for yeah. So it just depends on what you like to do. Some events I can do 5 minutes before, or like 10 minutes before. So you can adjust it here, and then if you want to edit it later on, you simply just go to the event. Like again, that if I go to bills, oops, let me go to the one that we did before, April, May. Here you go, Giant. If I go to Giants and then I hit edit, I can do the same thing. I can go to alerts and adjust those alerts as I choose. Does that help out, Dolores?
Okay, so that means when that time come, a buzzer to go off.
So you will get a notification on your iPad. So yes, you will get in. If your sound is up, you'll be able to hear a little buzz
Okay.
or a little sound. Again, sounds for different apps change, but yes, you will hear those, and they will appear in your notifications. Like when you turn on your iPad, you'll see it right there on your screen before you get into the home screen as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That answered my question. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, Dolores. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
Uh-huh. Okay. I just love all the ideas. So I know I said like two folks ago that I was going to be the last one, but I just love all these different suggestions. They're really cool. Truly, because I must go after the song. Is Denise, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. Good morning, everyone. I noticed about the calendar app. Instead of me going on, if I want to go into Zoom, I can go to the calendar and push today's date and tap that day, and it'll pop up Zoom, and I could just
Yeah.
tap Zoom and I'm in class. I
Yes,
don't have.
that is, you can certainly do that. If you tap on any events, because those events have locations, it
Uh,
recognizes because the location, I mean, it's a address, so it recognizes that it's Zoom. So yes, you can join the session from there. you just won't be able to, again, as you said, won't be able to see the details for the events from there. But it's just sometimes it's just if you just want to quickly glance again at what's going on for the week, you can do so to be able to plan your week out in advance.
Yeah, and it's easier too because you don't have to go all the way into Zoom and to come on. You just go to the calendar, push today's date, and it'll be right at the top. It'll say Zoom, it'll say join, and push that, and you in.
Yeah, so hopefully folks are not joining from Zoom, they're joining from our daily email. So I don't, so again, I don't encourage you all to join directly from the Zoom app, join from our email so you can know what's going on for the day. So that's all I'll have to say on that. But yes, you can join it from that way and it is quite simple, just like joining from the email as well. So
Yeah.
we appreciate that, Denise.
Okay, thank you.
No
Everyone
problem,
have
you have a great rest.
a
You too, Denise, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, again, I really appreciate you all coming on to our session today. And again, I hope you all utilize the calendar app in your daily life with all the suggestions. I see the chats, I hear that you all were, listening and taking notes, and I really appreciate that. So that way you can then be able to just be a little more organized and I feel happy. I feel happy that I'm able to put all of that info in there, things of that nature. So I hope you all get to enjoy. And thanks so much for coming on to our session.